Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. We are continuing our daily coverage of the MLB pitching assignments. We're talking right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Right now we're going to look at the card for Tuesday, June 23rd. Joe Duffy, end of June. Things still going well for you at OffshoreInsiders.com?
Absolutely. Again, our kryptonite continues to be extra inning games, but luckily they are in the minority. We just continue to roll along. A lot of big underdogs coming in lately, but we just keep winning and winning and winning.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, let's start with White Sox in Minnesota, right? Jeff Samardzija and Mike Pelfrey. And Samardzija, I don't know. I'm just not really feeling confident in him at all. He feels like he can get crushed at any time. Most likely he's going to give, 7 innings, 3 runs, not likely to be lights out ever. And on the other side, Mike Pelfrey, aside from the odd clunker, he's been mostly awesome this year. Despite the, we think of Samardzija as a dominant pitcher, but I'm thinking maybe Minnesota for this game has a big pitching edge. You agree?
Well, Jeff Samardzija, again, he's one of these big-name pitchers who has been struggling. He turned it around a little bit, but Samardzija is one of those guys that right now is clearly overvalued, so it would be tough for me to ever go with him. And as you said, Pelfrey had a tough outing 2 outings ago, but then bounced back against a very good team, St. Louis. So, again, when it comes to value, certainly you got possibly an undervalued pitcher and definitely against an overvalued pitcher. So Samardzija, at this point, you're not going to get value betting on him, only against him.
Yeah, and the White Sox haven't really been hitting. And when you see a guy like Pelfrey putting up the numbers that he's put up recently, how long do you expect that to continue, and when do you expect it to sort of stop or tail off? What signs do you look for?
Pelfrey, look, he's a pretty decent pitcher. He's been around a while. He's not a bad pitcher. I don't think that this pick, if I do wind up going with Minnesota, will be so much a pick on Pelfrey as it is taking advantage of the fact that Samardzija is greatly overvalued. So it's not so much that I'm in love with Pelfrey, but he's certainly not a bad pitcher where he's going to talk me out of going against Samardzija at this point.
Right. Okay. And then David Price, he's been throwing great. He's going to be on the road at Cleveland, and we know that Cleveland tends to struggle a bit against left-handed starters. Price throwing great. His last start was cut short early, so he wasn't overworked in that one. Do we expect another great start from Price here? And then on the other side, Danny Salazar, pitching generally well, but he probably gets out-pitched by Price here, right?
Salazar, though, he's pitched very well in his last 6 starts. He's got a 3.03 ERA. Yes, he's probably going to get out-pitched by Price, but again, Price is a stud pitcher, so when it comes to the value, that Salazar might be a little bit undervalued, but you're right. When you have a quality pitcher like David Price who's pitching on the top of his game, if anything, probably will be a pass.
All right, and then Johnny Cueto, we've discussed him. I gave the opinion that I was thinking maybe, his arm troubles might resurface at some point this year. The results have been mixed. His last 2 starts have been just mediocre, although Cincinnati they did wind up winning both of those games. Here he's going to be at Pittsburgh, could be an easier assignment. Jeff Locke on the other side, mediocre to subpar usually. What do we expect from Cueto here? A dominant start or maybe surprisingly vulnerable?
Well, when you're going with a pitcher as good as Cueto, it's tough to get value. However, here, he has done so well against the Pirates. Listen to this. Are you sitting down, Peter? Of course you're sitting down. 18-4, 2.13 ERA in 28 starts against Pittsburgh. Now, granted, Pittsburgh's only become a good team in the last 4 years or so, but still, those are impressive numbers, and they've held up as of late. So you talk about a guy who's owned the team, and the Pirates, they had that West Coast trip where they didn't play all that well. The Pirates might be a pretty decent go against at this point, and Cueto's numbers are just uncanny against Pittsburgh, and it's tough to you either got to go with those numbers or you got to pass. I don't know how you can possibly fade them, and especially if the Pirates' offensive slumps continue.
Right, okay, and especially with Locke uninspiring on the other side. All right, from the rest of the card for Tuesday, June 23rd, what would you like to bring to our attention, Joe?
Well, again, we're talking about a guy where you may not get great value, but at the very least, you got to think long and hard if you think you want to go against Zach Greinke. He's got a 1.77 ERA, just 1 home run, and 35 2/3 innings pitched on the road. He's been great on the road. We know that Dodger Stadium, he's pitched well, but this guy's been great both places. Again, it comes down to value. Do you want to go with him? Not necessarily, but as much as I like going with underdogs, I don't think Zach Greinke is necessarily the one I'll be pounding on the go against. And then an undervalued pitcher, Chichi Gonzalez, has held opponents to a 173 batting average, only 96 by righties as of late. So Gonzalez is probably as undervalued as just about any pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. I'm going to take a long, hard look at maybe going with Texas.
Yeah, Texas has been a great bet overall. They have been tended to be better on the road, though, where they tend to be an underdog. Gonzalez, though, a young pitcher putting up numbers like that, How long do we expect that to continue? And on the other side, Jesse Chavez has pitched well as well.
When a pitcher is pitching that well, and especially a team like Texas, who, as you said, they haven't been getting respect from the odds makers. Granted, they stumbled a couple times over the weekend against the White Sox, but Texas, I think, in general, just proves to be undervalued. And when you have a young pitcher pitching that well, I say go with him. You know, I know that a lot of times the big test is what happens once the scouts really look at what he can do and can't do at the major league level. But nobody has solved him as of yet. So I'm gonna keep riding him until the facts direct me otherwise.
Okay, sounds good, Joe. Thanks.